How's it going, everybody? Onorato and Miller, Chris and Ash, early for the 4th of July. If you're watching us live, it's Wednesday night. If you're watching us over the weekend on TV, the way so many people do, thank you for finding us. We are live every single week across News Channel 13's social media, Facebook, YouTube, and X.
We hope you had a good 4th. If you're watching us on TV.
Hope you had a great 4th. Yeah. Hope the weather was good. Hope you got to see fireworks or whatever you like to do on the 4th of July. A lot of NBA players are having good 4ths of July with the money that is being handed out in free agency. We'll break down some of the biggest moves and which ones we think are the most impactful. The money you can talk about, but who really, I mean, it doesn't matter at the end of the day. It's a salary cap league.
Yep.
Which are the most impactful moves? We've got Kate Fagan on the show, who, was an ESPN personality and reporter for so long, now a best-selling author, and she has spearheaded a 3-on-3 basketball tournament at Union College to benefit ALS research in memory of her father. We'll talk with Kate. EJ Gallup is on the show as well as he gets Team Fredette ready for the basketball tournament. We got a lot to do.
This is Onorato and Miller, sponsored by Alpenhaus.
Alpenhaus, Marcella's, Bev's, Novice, Performance Industrial, and Saratoga Casino. Track season part
almost
2
here. Yeah.
is almost here. I'll be live from Saratoga Racecourse next Thursday. That's opening day, July 11th. LeBron James is staying in LA. No surprise there, right? They draft his son Bronny. It all lined up. We knew he was probably staying anyway.
Yep.
But what's interesting here is after he reportedly was saying, I'm willing to take less to improve this roster.
He didn't take
they couldn't get anybody
that much.
They couldn't get anybody. He took the max.
Yeah.
After the Lakers struck out on a number of different free agent options and trade situations, LeBron was like, you know what, forget it. I'll take all of it.
Yeah, give me it all.
Right. Because
if we're not going to be good.
You couldn't improve
great,
the roster.
Yeah.
So you couldn't get me Klay Thompson. He was probably option 1A. No trades really came together for the Lakers.
Yeah.
And so I think if you're LeBron, you're like, over here, give me the max. $104 million over 2 years for LeBron James. And Bronny James gets a guarantee here from the Lakers, 4-year contract. That 4th year is a club option. So really it's a 3-year deal that he's guaranteed, but the Lakers are committing to him. Does that surprise you at all?
No, his dad's name's LeBron. His dad also,
turns 40 in December.
Yep, and LeBron's 2nd year is a player option. So this is very much a wait and see what happens kind of thing for LeBron. Let's see how it goes down. Let's see how my 40-year-old season goes down. Let's see if Bronny ever sees the floor. And do I want to move on at the end of the year? Yes, that's a possibility.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm a little surprised it's 4 years. But it's $7.9 million. It's not like they're throwing crazy money at him. And again, his last name is James. So he's just going to get things that others who average 3 points a game probably aren't.
Yeah. Carol's with us. Hey, Carol. Sam is with us. Sam is a LeBron, I'll say, hater here. I don't know if he is or not, or if this is an honest assessment in some way all about himself. Look, I think if you're LeBron James, you have certainly reserved the right here to take as much money as you can get late in your career. You have earned, I should say, the ability to tell the Lakers, you want to keep me, it's going to cost you.
Well, and listen, you said it. He was willing to take less.
There you go.
The Lakers couldn't get anybody.
Yep.
So had they gotten a Klay Thompson, he would not have taken what he took.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, they couldn't do it. So he said, fine, then give me all the money. I mean, he was selfless until there was no reason to be selfless anymore.
No.
And give me it back.
Yeah. There's still, look, it'll be a fun storyline. LeBron and Bronny. This Lakers team is not that good.
Nope.
And what's amazing about LeBron, I saw the numbers today. His points per game average with the Heat, Cavs, and now Lakers are all right at basically 27 points a game. It's amazing what he continues to do
year.
At his age.
Yeah.
He gets better and better, and he's become a much better three-point shooter. And JJ Redick has said, I'm going to tell LeBron to shoot a lot more threes this year. And you made this point here. The Lakers are adding Nate McMillan and Scotty Brooks, two guys who have head coaching experience on multiple teams, to the staff under JJ Redick. Go ahead. What do you got?
31 years of head coaching experience between those two guys.
Okay. McMillan, Hawks, and Pacers. Was he with a team out west too? Was he
Blazers?
Head coach for the Blazers? Could have been, should have been. Yep.
I think a long time ago.
And Scotty Brooks, you had the Thunder,
Wizards,
exactly. Yep.
Right?
Yep, exactly.
I mean, they've been everywhere. If you can't win with this team, which they won't because the team's not that good.
Right.
But it's not the coaching staff, because you've got three head coaches who are successful, proven winners, minus JJ Redick. Obviously hasn't proven anything yet, but you've got two coaches underneath him who have been very successful at this level.
Yeah. Carol wants to know, assuming you're going to the Jason Mraz concert, probably won't be in for the morning news. Went to the Jason Mraz concert
last night,
Tuesday night.
Yeah.
Did the morning news Wednesday morning. We're on no sleep.
He's
Carol.
a trooper.
About 2.5 hours of
coming
sleep
off a nap.
Tuesday into Wednesday, right? 2.5 hours or so, something like that.
How was that concert?
Concert was great. Let me just drop this for a moment here. I thought Tanglewood was phenomenal. The setup of having the Boston Pops play with the musical artist that comes to town, phenomenal.
Awesome.
I would go back I wish it was a little bit of a shorter drive. I would go back though in a heartbeat. I thought it was great. What did you think?
I thought it was great. It's the first time that I've seen not that I've seen a full orchestra, but that I've seen a full orchestra play with a headlining artist. And I thought just the atmosphere and like the ability of that orchestra to learn the music, number one, but to work with the artist,
right, and to
Jason
to stay on beat with them, and
the whole thing was incredible. Yeah. I would like to never see a concert another way in my life. Like, I would like to go see concerts with full orchestras all the time. I thought it was that cool. I thought it was that cool.
I thought it was great too. I don't know about all that, but I thought it was, every song has a little bit of a different version. There's a different energy to it. You can tell how much the accompanying musicians are happy to be part of it. I'm with you. It was cool. Our first trip to Tanglewood, and I was impressed. Yeah, I was absolutely impressed. All right, let's take a quick break here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, we've got more NBA free agency to do. We've got the performance industrial, dirty, difficult duns to do, the Olympics, and some NHL free agency. Caitlin Clark continues to drive record interest in the WNBA, and Aaron Judge just continues to chase records. We're back on Onorato and Miller right after this.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bev's, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here at Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bev's. At the end of the day, if you walk in these stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
It's always a good time there. Doesn't matter where. It's always a good time there.
Play to win a 2024 Chevy Camaro convertible through June 29th. Celebrate 20 years of good times at Saratoga Casino Hotel.
It's always a good time.
Learn more at SaratogaCasino.com.
To try, it's always a good time.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
All right, Ash, viewer comment. Love the viewer comments. Emmett says, hey, how about a little bit of love for the Firebirds?
Sure.
They're going to host a playoff game on Saturday, July 13th. You like the picture of the dog?
That's an
It's
otter.
a cat. Oh.
Emmett Otter.
Oh, yeah.
That's a picture of an otter.
I get it.
It's
okay.
cute.
Yeah. Firebirds are going to play a home playoff game.
Home playoff game.
Semifinal game. 6 teams make the playoffs. You get 4 in the first round. 2 teams get a bye. Albany's one of the teams with a bye. They'll host on the 13th. They are the 2 seed. So if the 1 seed wins, Firebirds, I assume, will have to go on the road to play the title game. Or is that
the title game's already set.
Neutral site?
It's at a site.
There you go. Okay.
I can't remember where.
So they're going to have probably the short trip to the
outside of Jersey.
So there you go. Short trip to the championship game if Albany can get there. Obviously, they've had a great season as the Albany Firebirds and back in the newly revamped, refurbished, recreated.
Sam says Minnesota, maybe not New Jersey.
AFL. So there you go. Yeah. Okay.
Maybe Minnesota.
Am I worried the Mets are going to catch the Braves? No, I'm not worried, Sam. The Mets are going to catch the Braves. Not that I don't think the Mets can catch the Braves. I don't, but I'm not worried about that. These are 2 at best average baseball teams. So my feeling always generally is, unless you win the World Series,
who cares?
I don't really care where you finish, right? Not to go Ricky Bobby here on second place is the first loser or whatever that quote is from that movie. But yeah, the Phillies have been maybe the best National League team the last few years, having reached the World Series once and then the NLCS last year. But who cares? Mm-hmm. Right? Like if you ask a Philly, hey, how were the early 2000s? We were good, but we didn't win anything. Okay, then I don't, I don't care. I think the Mets, and I said this on last week's show, the Mets are interesting because they're now creating an issue for that front office. Like, what do we do by July 31st? Are we trading guys or are we trying to bring guys in?
Yeah.
You sell. You are sellers. Other than Pete Alonso, you are sellers. No?
A few weeks ago, we were talking about trading Pete Alonso.
Well, I don't think it's the worst idea. I wouldn't do it, but I don't think it's the absolute worst idea to do that. Okay. How about some of these numbers here? Let's just do this.
We're all over.
Caitlin Clark has received more than 700,000.
These numbers are pretty great.
All-Star game votes. Last year's leading vote getter had about 96,000 All-Star game votes. Okay.
So
now that doesn't
9 times.
That doesn't tell the whole. Here's the whole picture. Clark is over 700,000. Then you have Aaliyah Boston and Asia Wilson, both with more than 600,000 All-Star game votes. Angel Reese has almost 400,000. Tarazi. The point is,
people aren't only voting for her,
but they are only voting because of her.
The interest is up,
right?
Across the board.
I mean, if Caitlin Clark is not in the WNBA, we are not getting this level of fan voting interest. There might be an increase, but not to what we have seen here. This is insane.
I agree.
The Aces and the Fever just played in front of 20,000 people on Tuesday night. Teams are moving their games when the Fever come to town because they know we're going to get more people than our regular building. We're going to
sell it out. We're going to have the most fans in attendance that we've ever had. Yeah. This is a consistent message. The Fever are getting better. They had a horrific start to the season, but they're a much better team now. It doesn't matter if they're good or bad. This is a team that every time they hit a city, they're selling out arenas and selling the most tickets they've ever sold.
What will be most interesting here is, and it's going to be a WNBA All-Star team against the basically national team in the All-Star game. But Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese will play together. Which is going to be fascinating. And I think they're both adult enough to play in the sandbox together for at least one night.
Mm-hmm.
That will be a lot of fun to watch. I can't, other than Tiger Woods, I can't come up with another comp to a singular athlete affecting the sport the way Caitlin Clark is changing women's basketball. I mean, Tiger Woods, they changed golf courses. Mm-hmm. The purse increase went through the roof. The TV ratings were insane when Tiger played. Mm-hmm. It's the same thing here with Clark.
Yeah. I would say Shohei it's not the same.
Yeah.
It has affected a different audience. It has affected, but people go to see Shohei play.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about it. But baseball was already popular enough that you're not going to see the needle move as much as Caitlin Clark has taken a sport that people were somewhat disinterested in. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And now the general public is interested in the WNBA. It's not just the sports fan. It's not you and I. It's more of the general public interested in this sport, in this league.
Is she doing enough? Is she playing well enough that the interest will last?
Yeah, I think so. Well enough. I mean, listen, she's got bad games, as does everyone else. But she's a rookie.
Well, and she's like the first to 500 points. She's like the fastest to 500 points or something like that. I mean,
I think she's done more than enough to say, okay. And we've talked about it before. I don't care how you play, what you're doing off the court, and the numbers that you're bringing have done that. And I get what you're saying. Is it going to last? It's going to last for at least a few years.
Okay. Mike wants to know thoughts on the Yanks struggles. Mike, good to hear from you too, buddy. Do we think Judge wins Triple Crown? Well, we have a stat bar for Aaron Judge because it just feels like good. We always have to have a stat bar for Aaron Judge.
Because you're that good. That's
currently leads the majors in average. This is a guy who was hitting below 200 through the month of April. He's now at 321. That's a point better than Shohei. Mm-hmm. He's got 32 home runs and 83 RBIs. Will he? Not, we know he can. Will he win the Triple Crown?
I'll say yes.
Okay.
I'll say yes.
He won't because I don't think he'll lead the league in average. Yeah. But go ahead, continue.
I'm sure he won't, but I'll say yes this time because it feels like he's figured it out a little bit. And while the Yankees aren't playing well at all, he's playing very well and continues to. And you just have, if you can avoid another slump like the way you started the season, you've got a shot.
Yeah. 58. He's on pace to hit 58 home runs this season. Obviously, 62 is the record he set a couple of years ago.
Yeah, I don't think he'll beat his previous stats, but I think he's got a shot.
Now, he has not yet said, right, whether or not he's going to be part of the home run derby.
He won't be.
We know Shohei Ohtani will not be part of the home run derby. It makes sense. He says, hey, I'm still rehabbing this elbow, kind of. I know I'm having a good year, but he's having a great year. But I'm not doing this. The extracurriculars, the unnecessaries, no thank you. There have been a couple of changes here to the Derby. Instead of that bracket format, you're now advancing the top four. So similarly to the 3-point shooting contest, and no more timed rounds. So you got a certain number of pitches instead of racing against the clock.
I like this better because I hate that you get a guy who hits 30 home runs and a guy who hits 29, and they're both better than the guys who hit 15 and 13, but you've got one moving on and one going home. So I'd like this much better. And the timed TV may hate no timed rounds, but I think the guys will like it a lot better. You get a certain number of swings, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep. And the guys have expressed a concern that as they try to race against the clock, that there's a risk of injury there. Yeah. So you say no on Judge to the home run derby, huh?
Yeah, no.
Boy, we need somebody. Like you can't.
It's like Gunnar Henderson.
That's
like,
my thing.
Nobody.
Like, it's not going to be good enough.
Watch that.
It's just not going to be good enough.
Yeah.
We need somebody to step up and take over as the lead star for the home run derby. All-Star game is just a couple of weeks away. Crazy. All right, let's take a time out here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, we're going to talk with Kate Fagan, best-selling author, former ESPN reporter and personality, and now doing big things in her dad's memory. here in the 518 with a 3-on-3 basketball tournament to benefit ALS research. Our conversation with Kate next.
I'm Jeff Ukelek. I'm owner of Bevs, and we're a beverage center in upstate New York. You're just going to have that wow component when you come in, like, wow, look at this place. It's bright, it's clean, it has everything that I need. Consumer is king. Be able to provide them a friendly environment and a place to shop, no matter where they are, whether they're down here in Saratoga or whether they're up in Queensbury. You're always going to get the same experience when you shop at Bevs. At the end of the day, if you walk in your stores, you're going to see a lot of people that have a lot of pride.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through product and purpose. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alphen House.
Back on Onorato and Miller, it's Chris, it's Ash, and one person we've been fortunate to catch up with on this show previously for her great books is Kate Fagan, who of course is a Capital Region native and a great college basketball player, and then has done just so many big things in the world of, I'll say, sports media, but obviously, Ash, it goes way beyond that. But we have a much greater cause and reason to talk with Kate on this week's show, and it's the information you can see at the bottom of your screen. It's the Big C 3-on-3 tournament. It's at Union College, Saturday, August 3rd. Gets started at 10 o'clock in the morning. There's an 18 and over division, a 40 and over division. It's co-ed. All the money goes towards ALS research and support, resources, and all of that, because Ash, it's such a cause that's near and dear to Kate's heart.
Yeah, and listen, we saw the Ice Bucket Challenge take hold of people way back when, and it kind of gripped the entire country. But I love that Kate is doing her own thing to help, a cause that you said is particularly important to her, but bringing it back to people's consciousness and making it fun. You're making a tournament that is going to go for a good cause.
Yep. All right, let's bring Kate into the conversation here now on Onorato and Miller. Kate, it's so good to have you back on the show. Good to see you. First of all, how are you?
I'm good. It's good to be back with y'all. I love doing anything for the 518, especially you two. You're especially fun.
Well, I love that you've got to y'all. I love that you're there.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Ash, I've been down here 6 years now, but y'all is just the best pronoun.
Isn't it?
Oh, it's just all encompassing. Like,
yes.
You don't have to be that little panic in your head that you do. Like, I said guys. Should I have said guys? No. So y'all.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. And it's just, I love the y'all. Yeah. I love the Southern accent. I love everything about it. The hospitality. It's also good.
The information's scrolling at the bottom of your screen here throughout. The Big C 3on3.com is how you can sign up for this great event. It's only $200 to get a team into this tournament.
Come on.
It's co-ed. It's hoops at Union College. It's a great time of year to do it. Kate, this is a cause, of course, that means so much to you because you lost your father to ALS, Chris Fagan, who is a hoops legend in his own right in the 518, playing at Catholic High. And Ash maybe could have crossed paths with your dad almost. It's close.
My dad?
Yeah, your dad.
Yeah, absolutely your dad.
Yeah.
And then obviously to Colgate and played overseas as well. Kate, I have a question about your dad, though, for people who didn't know him, and I didn't know him. I've said to Ash, and she can back me up on this, ALS seems like one of those diagnoses that when you get it, you just give up. It would be easy to just say, you know what, had a good run, but this thing is undefeated. Why didn't your dad quit?
Well, I mean, he really, up until the last week he was alive, he was still dreaming of a cure, almost to the point where you were like, there's nothing in the pipeline. There's no data suggesting we're going to have a cure anytime in the next, 5 years. But he's still, I remember him saying one time we would go up to the Columbia, had a great ALS program where you would meet with doctors and they would just try to do as much as they could for you. And he finally had that realization and And he was like, so the cavalry's not coming, you know, and it was hard to hear him understand that while at the same time wanting him to find things to have enrich his life and have value still, even as he lost other things. And one of the biggest things he lost was just like his relationship to the game of basketball. That was just like, we were up at Bolton Landing. They have some courts there. Towards the end, maybe he had like a year left and he was trying to shoot still and he could not get the ball to hit the rim. And it was like one of those moments where you want to say the right thing and you want to figure out some way to make it better. And then you just realize like, you just can't. Yeah. So once you've been hit with this disease, it's just when you hear anybody that's had it or someone in their family has had it, you just want to do everything in your power to just like surround them.
I was going to say, Kate, is it so, and I don't want to sound, I hope this comes out the right way, but you know, every disease has its negatives, and you see people go through cancer and it's horrific. And you see people fight for heart disease. You know, people drop dead of a heart attack. None of it is good, but because of what ALS does and because of what it takes from you to witness that, does that change your perspective and just kind of set it apart in your mind from other things? Because I think when you see someone go through that, maybe it changes you in that way.
Once you really have ALS like impact you, it's hard to not see it as like this disease that like you just need everybody to understand truly what it is, because in our system in the US, like diseases can be a numbers game. Like if there are enough people impacted with it, then it makes financial sense to put a ton of money toward a cure. And then you've got ALS where the numbers tell you they're too small, that we should be spending, you know, billions of dollars to find a cure. Although the numbers are not as small as like you may think. But if you really look at ALS and you learn what it is, you start to do a different equation, which is this thing is so horrible and so fast and 100% undefeated. Like that should be a metric involved in how we spend our money too. But just one of the things about doing this tournament and talking about ALS is just even, you know, Ashley mentioned the ice bucket challenge. And I think a lot of people vaguely understood that was about ALS. I think some people didn't.
Right.
And some people don't. You say ALS and they kind of put it in other categories, but this is like 100% fatal. You lose every piece of your movement down to the movement in your eyeballs if you live that long. I mean, this thing is just so brutal. And that's, you know, that's part of the equation and like trying to get money and resources for it. Cause like people don't live long enough to do the championing for a disease that you see or survive it, you know, and you come out the other side and you're the person hosting and doing things. Like ALS doesn't have that. It has friends and family impacted that have to keep up the legacy.
And this is something that you said your dad wanted was, hey, when the timing is right.
He didn't say that, Chris. He wasn't that generous. When the timing was right.
He was like, you do this.
Let's go. No.
All right. He said, get on it tomorrow or yesterday, even a tournament, a basketball tournament, a sport that he shared such a great love with you of to benefit, not him, right? But to benefit anybody who's got to go through this awful disease. When that was coming about and you guys were talking about it, did you see it coming to fruition eventually? And how do you make it as big as he would want it to be?
That's such a big question because he did ask me to do this the last week he was alive. So it was like a dying wish we are talking about here. And because playing 3-on-3 was his favorite form of basketball because the man was a shooter and there are a lot more shots in 3-on-3 and fewer people to take them. So there you go. So he loved it. He loved the fast pace. He loved like the focus on offense. So that was his favorite like way to play. And he died 4 years ago, just before COVID. And so we were going to do it that upcoming summer. COVID hits. Last summer was the first summer we probably could have done it from like a getting people together perspective, but we actually spread his ashes over in Corsica, which is where he had played pro basketball. And so this was the first summer we could possibly do it. And, we've been saying there's a squad of us behind the scenes working on this. My mom, and a bunch of like area hoop people like Bob Montana, who used to be the Union coach, and, Tom Bailey and my uncle and Tony Foster over at Troy. And so like these 518 hoop guys helping us out. And this year we really are just trying to get it off the ground. But like, do I want to make the Big C 3-on-3 tournament like a cool yearly event in Schenectady where it's like, maybe 5-7 years from now, you're going to get like a really cool 3-on-3 tournament? I hope, I hope not just because I think my dad would love his name, the Big C, associated with like a cool tournament, but also because like every year then we'd be giving like whatever, right? $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 toward helping people with ALS and helping research over at ALS TDI trying to find a cure.
And, basketball players are so hyper competitive. They know there's a big competitive 3-on-3 tournament that like you can really put your name at the top of something. They're going to get in on that. They're totally going to.
We just got to build it there, Ash. We got to build it. Get the good talent. I mean, I'm playing, but that's not the good talent. I haven't played in like 10 years, but
it is good talent. People won't know what they're watching. It's good talent.
Every shooter I've ever talked to has always told me you never forget how to shoot. 3-on-3, and this comes like right in the middle of 3x3 being on everybody's screens during the Olympics, and watching Jimmer get after it for the men. And we got to get the women's squad figured out because we got some injuries on the women's side that are hurting the 3x3 thing, but they'll get that thing figured out, I know. So here's all the information again, everybody, on your screen right now. Kate, on the side of the disease again here, what strikes me with ALS, and you hear it about a lot of diseases, right, that they don't discriminate, but this one especially just feels like it almost attacks the people who have been active and healthy their entire lives. You see the people who get hit with ALS and you think, how is that possible? And then you wonder, how do you continue to live not having all of those physical faculties still and find a way with dignity to continue every single day? How did you witness your dad continue to do that despite having some of those things taken from him?
Yeah, I mean, like you said, ALS does. I don't think they've found really exactly why it hits former athletes, specifically football players too, and former military harder than it does just general population. But there is some correlation, and I'm sure someday they will find it. I would be lying if I said my dad was like, always the positive thinker day in and day out once this disease hit. I mean, we saw him crazy, lows too, but he really did start to take just pleasure in the smallest things. And he had set himself up to feel that way because he was the guy who would be like, all you need is a good cup of coffee and the crossword puzzle, And so he had already kind of established a way of being in the world that it took a long time for ALS to take all of those things. Of course it does. I mean, and people will live where they, it got to a point where he could no longer swallow coffee, and it got to a point where he could no longer hold the pen to do the crossword. But up until the end of his life, my mom was doing the crossword with him, but she was in charge of it, at that point. So finding, and there's lessons in that. I took tons of lessons in it. ALS could take everything from you. But he just continued to kind of morph and find ways to find this joy in life. I mean, for him, the end really came when he did a tracheostomy and he couldn't, that takes your voice. And he was so funny and witty. Even right before the tracheostomy, he could still talk a little bit, even though he'd lose air pretty quickly. And I think after that, that little piece that was taken, which was just being able to contribute to the conversation as it's happening, because there's eye gaze and you can program in a word and then it'll say the word, but in conversation, it's you're making a joke 90 seconds after the joke needs to land. And it was something about that, I think, really kind of took that last piece from him. But I learned so, it sounds selfish, but I learned so much in watching him go through that disease that will impact me for the rest of my life.
All right, Kate, who's your teammates? Who do you got on your roster?
Okay, so far we're leaving a third spot open because it's me and my best friend Shauna, who's 45 and played with me at the Colorado Chill and also hasn't played in 10 years. So we've got a third spot open for like the most athletic man we can find.
All right.
So if you hear this and you're like, I am that person, I want to show up to the Big C 3-on-3 and like rebound the ball and basically do everything interior while we float around the outside.
Hitting 2 ballers?
Yeah.
Can we get like the Schenectady boys, James Thomas and Willie
Rayshawn Freeman? Where you at?
Rayshawn Freeman.
Yeah. Willie Dean.
Yeah.
Somebody.
I'll take him as my third. It's fine. Let's go.
Yeah.
I've been recruiting. Here's
suffice.
another name because I'm pressuring her to come up for it. Jen Scanlon. From back in the Shen days, played at Duke. I'm pressuring her via text message to like get a team together. Because it's in the Union College Fieldhouse. Like that is like Bill Scanlon 90s days. So
all right, we need to start knocking on the door here. We're like Julie McBride, let's get her on a squad. I mean, there are a lot of hoopers still in the 518 here who need to sign up for this.
So Julie, sorry, you say Julie. Kate, does it have to be 2 female, 1 male? Is there a rule to?
No, your team could be 3 guys. It could be 3 girls. Like maybe in coming years, we're going to go down to the youth level. We'll start to distinguish, but like more, you're coming this year. You want to play some good hoops. You want to listen to some good music and you want to like help a good cause. That's what we're here for in the 2024 version. So your squad can look like whatever you want it to look like.
Beautiful. I just keep calling them out here. Shea Bramersky, guys, like, let's go.
EJ.
Yeah.
EJ
is Greg Kubek still in the area? Is he still
I was going to say him. Yeah, come on.
Yeah.
He's a big dude who can hack it.
Well, we can tag all of these people on social. It can just be like a big paragraph.
Pressure's on.
I have no shame. Kate, thank you so much for doing this show. Your dad, as I don't need to tell you, would be so incredibly proud of the effort you're putting on to make this tournament happen for him and for everybody else who has been affected by ALS and will be affected by ALS. So thank you. Can't wait to see you on the 3rd. Everybody, there it is. The Big C 3on3.com. Go sign up now. Get your squad. $200. Come on. Can't beat it. Kate, thank you.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Ash.
At Marcella's Appliance Center, our commitment is to you, providing essential appliances that families depend on for cooking, refrigeration, cleaning, and sanitation, plus appliance repair. You can have peace of mind that Marcella's is here for you today and every day, like we have been since 1957, helping you make the right choice with trusted brands like Whirlpool, Maytag, KitchenAid, and many more. Shop Marcella's Appliance Center in-store, online, or by phone. We're here for you.
Alpenhaus has been your source for fun since 1964, and we're going to continue to help you make memories for years to come. It's our 60th anniversary, and we can't wait to celebrate with you. Save thousands on this Thor Motor Coach Class B RV, and check out the amazing low monthly payment on this Coachman travel trailer. With a lineup of the nation's top brands, our outfitters are sure to help you find the perfect RV for your family. Start making memories today. Alpenhaus, your total camping outfitter for 60 years.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, that was cool to catch up with Kate Fagan ahead of that 3-on-3 tournament that she has created in her dad's memory, and her mom helping her out with that as well. Again, August 3rd at Union College. Sign up now, the Big C 3-on-3.com. All right,
we
Ash.
will not be playing.
Yeah. Okay. So you know what? During that segment,
some basketball talent. I have zero.
I don't.
You have some.
No.
I have zero basketball talent. I would never put myself in that position because it would be a shame to the game of basketball. Sam
is willing to be our 3rd teammate.
We would get hammered.
So what?
I'm not sure that. Well, I would score 0 points. So unless it was you hack it, like you're gonna go hack it against Rayshawn Freeman or James Thomas.
No.
Good luck.
Or
that
Kate,
would be it.
Or Kate Fagan.
Yeah,
No.
We would get hammered.
Yes.
If we can get Kevin Huerter, I'm in.
So here's the deal. I would play.
Okay.
I'm not in town.
Oh, yeah. True that.
Which is honestly a shame. When Kate first approached us and I saw the date, I thought, we're not here. Dang, we're not here. Which is disappointing.
You can play.
Because I would like to.
There will be a next
I would
time.
like to at least be there, right? I don't need
yeah.
to play, but to witness it and watch it and all that good stuff.
That would be cool.
It's time for the MVP of the month, sponsored by Marcella's Appliance Center.
Johnny Marcella, Nick Matalone, the great people over at Marcella's Appliance Center, Schenectady, the flagship shop, and Clifton Park, newly expanded and renovated, looks incredible. Here's our MVP of the month for the month of June. And I'm jumping on Brad Stevens, Ash, the Celtics president of basketball operations, for how he was able to construct the championship team. Sure, we could give it to Jaylen Brown or to Jason Tatum, and fine, but
they got trophies.
But Stevens is the guy that kept Jaylen Brown, made him the highest paid player in the NBA when everybody was like, what are you doing? This isn't, no way. Now you can't win in the salary cap. He did it.
Traded Marcus Smart.
Added Drew Holiday. Huge difference maker. Added Kristaps Porzingis. Now has given Jason Tatum the richest deal in NBA. So
an absurd deal.
They are fine. He is finding a way to keep the core together and improve the roster still. So shout out to Brad Stevens for
it's amazing
for what he was able to do.
Amazing.
Yeah, pretty darn good. All right, elsewhere in NBA free agents here.
Speaking of that contract.
End of the Splash Brothers. Klay Thompson goes to Dallas. Couple of quick thoughts here. We will never see another shooting tandem the way we saw with Curry and Klay. Second quick thought, I like this signing for Dallas. Klay is not the same guy, and defensively, he used to be a top 3 to 5 defensive player in the NBA. He's not. He's had those 2 major leg injuries, but he's still good enough defensively, and he still shoots it well enough. Doesn't need to play with the ball in his hands, which is great because Kyrie and Luka do need it. He will spread the floor, space them out, and shoot.
Hang out and shoot.
This is the best spot for Klay as he passed up the Lakers. And I think it's a nice addition for Dallas.
Every shooter's dream to play with 2 guys who need the ball. Just stand there and over here. I'm open when you want me. I'm open and I'll knock it down.
That would have been my world.
Especially an injured older guy's dream. Like
YMCA
he's
league.
in a great
3-point line to 3-point line. Don't need you to rebound. None of it.
Just run and shoot. This is a team that got to the NBA Finals without Klay Thompson. So this should put them right back in the conversation. You talked about Kyrie. You talked about Luka. That they have their own version of a big 3. They had their big 2. Now they've got a big 3.
Yeah. Let's run through this here quickly. Most impactful move of the NBA free agency season so far is what? Here's some other moves. Here's some staying puts.
It's Paul George to Philadelphia because it changes the landscape of the East. It puts Philadelphia in a conversation with Boston now because it gives Philadelphia a big 3 with Tyrese Maxey, Joel Embiid, and Paul George. I don't know that it's going to work, but it makes the Philadelphia 76ers infinitely more interesting.
Yeah. And it's a true triangle big 3. You've got the point guard, you've got the wing man, you've got the big man if Embiid can stay healthy.
I like it. I like it for Philadelphia a lot.
Yeah, I do too. Hartenstein to OKC. A lot of money, 3 years, $87 million. But I think that's the right move for the Thunder. Think about how big Minnesota is. OKC's got to try to match that a little bit out west. Maxey stays put with a lot of money. Harden and Donovan Mitchell stays put in Cleveland, which was the right move, I think, for both he and the Cavaliers. So there you go. That's a little bit of the NBA free agency rundown here on Onorato and Miller. A little more business to do here, Ash, with Performance Industrial.
And now, dirty, difficult, and done. Sponsored by Performance Industrial.
Karen and Bill Miller at Performance Industrial, where there's never a job that's too dirty or too difficult for their team to get it done. Industrial kitchen cleaning, epoxy floors. Check them out, Performance Industrial. Ash, you are up first.
All right, up first. For those of you who don't know this, I consider myself a Preds fan. I don't watch a lot of NHL hockey, but when I do, it's probably the Rangers or Devils because they're on a lot, or the Predators. The Preds are going for it. Done sitting around waiting. They signed a bunch of older guys, but these are guys who are huge names who can still put up points, and they're throwing all kinds of money at them. So you pull Steven Stamkos away from Tampa Bay after 16 years. He is a brilliant forward who can still play. Yep. Jonathan Marchessault from the Knights, last with the Knights, won an MVP, Finals MVP in 2023. Another guy who can add it up. And then Brady Shea, a defenseman. They've literally sprinkled in guys all across the board. And you're talking like 32 million, 28 million, 49 million. I mean, it's just, they're throwing money all over the place. If you don't win now, who cares? But they're going for it. Yeah. They can't say they didn't try.
Like you said, they're going for it. They're going for gold here. Two of the, you talk about some older guys in NHL free agency, couple of older.
I know.
I mean, they're 27
Younger
years
than
old,
us,
but they feel like they've been
older.
around forever, and they are still getting it done, still dirty. And that's Simone Biles, who has made a major comeback here, right? I mean, I know I was critical of her as well, but the twisties she had, stepping away from gymnastics for a couple of years, her last 12 months have been dominant again, and she will lead the women's gymnastics squad into Paris. And Katie Ledecky, onto her fourth Olympics. She won a gold in 12. She won 4 in 16. And then she won like 2 more in 21, let's call it, in Tokyo. And she still is so good at that distance swimming, the 800 meters. And
people are starting to catch her.
Yeah.
But
yeah, right. Look,
they'll both be competitive.
Yes.
They're both going to compete for gold.
Yes.
In multiple events.
I mean, I would think Simone Biles wins gold in the all-around,
if she
or
wants
the floor,
to.
I should say, right? I would think so. Yeah. All right, another timeout here on Onorato and Miller. When we come back, EJ Gallup has taken Team Fredette to the basketball tournament this summer.
It's always a good time there. Doesn't matter where. It's always a good time there. Doesn't matter.
Play to win a 2024 Chevy Camaro convertible through June 29th. Celebrate 20 years of good times at Saratoga Casino Hotel. Learn more at SaratogaCasino.com.
Imagine coming home after a long day and slipping into your own personal hot tub from Wellness Spas. Let the stress of the day melt away as you soak in the therapeutic benefits of the water. Our team at Alpenhaus wants to help you relax and enjoy the advantages of owning your very own hot tub. We're confident we can help you find the perfect hot tub for you and your family. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs. Visit us at Clifton Park Center in our newly expanded showroom on Route 30 in Amsterdam.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
In between making sure he keeps what is now that winning tradition at FMCC going, EJ Gallup is putting together another TBT squad. And EJ, it's back to Team Fredette for you guys, right?
Yeah, man. We started this TBT journey as Team Fredette. I think our last time on the floor as Team Fredette, we were in the semifinal game. Jimmer was playing. We were in Baltimore, and then things led us in the direction of the money team in Floyd Mayweather and that group. And it was a really good run with the money team. I don't know, 3, 4, 5 years, I think. And it just felt right to kind of go back to Team Fredette this year. Just things just ran its course, and we're excited about this. We're kind of we have a little more freedom as to the roster and assistant coaches and all that type of stuff. So TJ Fredette and I decided to go back to Team Fredette. We're really excited.
Yeah, your buddy TJ and you are putting this thing together. What that means, though, also, right, is you're kind of, because you have more freedom, you're on your own more. And so I know you're putting the call out for some local support. Tell me how people can get involved here still.
Yeah, so we had an idea. In the past, we've kind of gotten bigger, like corporate sponsors, and just people writing bigger checks as the money team or whatever. However, it's gone, and we kind of decided we do have a couple great sponsors that will be on our jerseys. Angelina's Pizza from the Glens Falls, Queensbury area. FX Caprera Honda out of Watertown. So we have some bigger sponsors that have been great to us, and we can't wait to wear their logo on our jersey during TBT. But then also we had an idea of a little more of a grassroots type of sponsorship where, we've been in TBT for 7-8 years now. We have local fans and following that follow us every year. So we wanted to try to let them in on it a little bit. So for anybody, friends and family, anyone who really wanted to follow us, if you can donate or sponsor as little as $100. And if we win, you double your money. So we give you back $200. So it's kind of a fun way to keep people engaged, interested in watching us. It's also a cool way for us to kind of give back to the people that have been supporting us. So we have a Facebook page. It's TBT Team Fredette. And you can go on there. There's a link, secure site. You can donate. You'll have your name. And we'll keep track of everyone who donated. And it's going to be fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. I have some friends and family that have already donated, so now I'm on the hot seat with them. So they want, they're like, well, we better win this thing. So it's a cool way to keep everyone involved and our local fans and stuff like that. So it's cool. You can donate, I think, as little as $35 and as much as $1,000. And we don't pay our guys. Nobody gets paid. All the money goes to this year was a $10,000 entry fee into TBT. First time they've ever done that. And then the rest of the money goes to our travel expenses for hotel and flights for our guys to get to the first round. And if we advance past the first round, then TBT pays the rest. So we like to be clear about where the money goes. Nobody, unless we win this thing, nobody makes a dime. Nobody's collecting any money. So it just goes to travel expenses and hotels for the guys.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of this, you got a group of guys who want to just continue to play and compete. The shot at the money, obviously, at the end is a huge draw as well. But as we know, only one team walks away with that. All right, so EJ, as you're putting this roster together, and the good thing about this tournament too is it's easy to follow, easy to watch the games, easy to find the results. As you put this roster together, how familiar will it look to people? Obviously, Jimmer is going to be in Paris. How familiar will this roster look to people?
It's going to look a little different, to be honest with you. Just kind of our guys that we've had and our core guys in the last couple of years have gotten older. Obviously, Jimmer's going to be in the Olympics, and we're going to be following Jimmer. We can't wait to watch him, in Paris on the 3-on-3. And then Trevor Booker, who is a guy who's been with us the last couple of years, and he was retired from the NBA. We just found out last week that he suffered an injury trying to get ready for the tournament, so he won't be with us. So with that being said, man, I'm really excited about some of our younger guys that we're bringing along. Some young guys that are playing in the EuroLeague overseas, super high level guys as usual. This year we added Darius Johnson Odom, who won the TBT championship with Marquette. He's a Marquette guy. He's one of the best players that plays in TBT, and Marquette doesn't play anymore. So I had mentioned to TJ, I said, we should reach out to this guy, just give it a shot, see if he wants to play with us. And he said yes. So he's a really big pickup for us. So we're really excited about that. And then locally, I played with Shadell Millinghouse on the Patroons my last year playing. We won the championship. He's continued to play. He just killed it in a season in Canada and then came home and played really well with the Patroons again. So we added him to our lineup for local fans, a local guy. So we're really excited about him. I'm excited for him to get this opportunity to kind of showcase himself. And, that's really what it's about when you play professional basketball is you want to get exposure. You want to get your name out there. You want to, put it on tape, and you want to be able to send it out there and try to get a good job. So I'm excited for him. I think it's a big opportunity for him to kind of play against some higher competition on tape and on TV. So I think it's I've been sending him some texts to get him motivated, and not that he needs it, man. He's a great player, and he's hungry. So I'm definitely excited for him. Unfortunately, we were going to pick up Joey Cremo also, who's been playing great in Spain. Joey just got married, and he broke his wrist he's got a hand or an arm injury. So he won't be with us this summer, but hopefully next summer. So we do have a little local flair to the roster, and then TJ really does a great job with the roster. I really he'll message me with guys, and I'll be like, awesome, T, because he I trust 100% that he gets the best guys. He always has built great rosters all through TBT. So as soon as our roster is completely finalized is kind of when I'll go through everything for roles, and TJ and I will talk about starters and guys coming off the bench and matchups and stuff like that. But
and you already know you're starting in Louisville, right?
Yeah, we're starting in Louisville. I forget the name of the team that we play. It's a first-year team that's first year that they're playing in TBT. So they kind of have a mixture of guys all over the place. So we're gonna, my assistant coach is a Gloversville guy. He's the Shaker head coach. Eric Kusel is one of my assistants, which is really cool. Nobody spends more time on tape than Eric, so he's already digging into that. And one of my best friends, Eddie Davis, Utica College grad, is one of my assistants also. So I have a great staff with them and TJ, and we have a bunch of guys from Gloversville and Glens Falls that kind of always hit the road with us, and you'll see them on the bench, and they might be getting kicked out of the arena or who knows. But we kind of have built up this little family where we get ready for this every summer, and we're really excited about it.
Yeah, I mean, so you're not thinking about stopping this anytime soon. You're a busy dude. You're a coach. You're a dad. You got a lot going on, man.
Yeah, I do, man. It's a lot, but for me, last time we were a Team Fredette, I was playing. I was playing at the end of my career, limited role, and if you would have told me then, like 5, 6 years later, I would have been the coach of the money team and then coaching TBT. It's a great opportunity for me as a coach. I'm still young as a coach. Obviously, at Full Montgomery Community College, we've been building something really good and turning the program around into a national contender. But this for me is a challenge because it's professional guys. These guys are the best players in the world. They're not in the NBA, but they get paid a lot of money to play ball, and it's really good for me. It's a really great experience for me. So I look forward to it. I'm never going to say no, man. I'm a basketball junkie anyway, so I'm going. If you ask me to go do something, I'm going to go do it. Been super busy. Obviously, my wife supports everything I do, and my family also. So they kind of allow me to do all these crazy things that I signed myself up for.
I love that, man. Well, listen, we'll be watching Team Fredette. Again, check out the Facebook page, TBT Team Fredette, to support this squad. And you put a little money up, you get double back if this team goes all the way.
Jump on the Facebook page, follow us, like us, add us as a friend, however it works. But we'll have our updates, we'll have our rosters on there, and then we'll have our schedule, and then you guys can watch it live at home and follow us along and hopefully win some money with us.
I love that. EJ, good luck, brother. Always good to catch up with you, man.
Thanks, man. Good to see you.
Using the highest quality materials, artisanal craftsmanship, and creative design, we're ready to help bring the vacation experience to your own home. With custom-designed Legacy Edition pools, we're confident we can turn your backyard into your own personal oasis. And we'll be by your side through the whole process. Get outside this summer with Alpenhaus. Be sure to visit our brand new 16,000 square foot showroom expansion on Route 30 in Amsterdam. Alpenhaus Pools and Hot Tubs, Amsterdam and Clifton Park.
Teams, athletes, organizations. We're transforming the custom apparel industry through products and purpose. Claim your crown.
And now, back to Onorato and Miller. Sponsored by Alpenhaus.
All right, Ash, on the way out here, any interest whatsoever in the Nathan's hot dog? Is it still Nathan's? It is, right? Because this whole controversy with Joey Chestnut, and he's got some other sponsor. And any interest in watching humans consume hot dogs as quickly as possible?
No.
Yeah.
I think it's repulsive.
Mm-hmm.
No. I love
agree.
a good hot dog. I do not wish to watch other people eat them quickly. What does it for me is not the stuffing it in their mouth. It's the dipping it in the water. I cannot It's so disgusting. I
Okay.
can't.
All right. So neither one of us will be watching the hot dog eating competition. And I'm good with that. It's not a sport, people.